Hello everyone, it's Hyde in the Philippines. Today we're going to talk about province life or city life. Which one is for you? Now the first thing I got to know is are you a country boy or a city boy? Or are you one of the middle of the road people, a suburbanite? You really need to understand that about yourself before you make this decision and decide where you're going to park your car, so to speak, over in the Philippines. What is your true comfort zone? I mean, what makes you feel the most natural? What gives you that sigh of relief when you see certain things? Okay, city people, they'll often come to the country and they'll find it quaint and they'll like it, and it's so, it's it's nice for a short period of time, but they're gonna miss the city amenities, and the way that the time frame works in the city because it's on a 24-hour basis. Now, once again, you got country people such as myself. We like to go to the city from time to time. We like to see the bright lights, do a little bit of shopping, but it moves at a pace that's just a little faster than I like to move. It just is the traffic, the sounds, everything. You know, and this is going to be things that I've noticed, my perspective of the difference between city and province life. Now, I'm just going to give you about 10 things on each side, and there's so many more, but bear with me if you will. Okay, the city, one of the things about the city is the convenience, just the sheer convenience of everything, because everything is pretty much within your fingertips. Uh, you can Google this and go across town to go find that, or there's restaurant. It's really convenient because all the municipalities, or if you have things business conduct, it happens in the city. Now in the province, things run at their own pace. You can't just get things at your fingertips. You might want to get something, but it might take you a couple of days, a week, a month to even get some things, and then if you get tired of waiting, you might as well just go to the city and get it yourself. But I mean, the province, it runs a little slower. Now, one of the other things about the city is you're going to have a lot of pollution in the city. There's a lot of cars, and they just don't have the regulations that we have here. There's black smoke billowing out of countless cars and engines and motorcycles. When you spend a day driving, when you get done, there's going to be black in the creases of your arms. And one of the other things I found is, I would wake up in the morning. I used to smoke cigarettes and I quit like 6 years ago, but I would wake up in the morning, and I would have this tightness in my chest. No, not because I was having a heart attack, but it was from I could feel it in my lungs. Uh, it was from the pollution in the city, and you can see it. I mean, you can see it, but you can't see it. It's polluted. Okay, the province, you're really not going to have that problem. The air is pretty clean. They're not going to have the traffic. I mean, where my girl stays at, there's the main road, but everybody lives off the main road, and even that main road, along about 10 o'clock at night, you rarely will see a car or maybe the random truck here or there. So the pollution just isn't there as it is opposed to the city. I mean, just the air pollution. That's the pollution I'm talking about. There's various types of pollution in the Philippines. We're just talking about air quality. So if you've got like lung problems or something like that, moving into the city is probably not going to be a really good choice for you because the pollution it's hard, man. It's really hard. Okay, now one of the things about the cities is there's traffic day and night. It's a city, so you have to expect that there's going to be traffic, and there is day and night. You can get a ride, a grab. I had to get a grab one time at 2 a.m. to get to the airport, to make my flight. But I mean, you could do that. It wasn't a thing. I just click and clack on the handheld here, and then before you know it, here comes a guy to pick me up. Now, I do not believe that you could do that in the province. I mean, you might get a ride, maybe, I don't know, but I've never tried it. Like I said, there's not really a road, and anyway, anyway, so there's less traffic in the province for sure. The occasional car and truck, mostly everybody running around by scooter or on foot, and that's just the way of things. Now, speaking about being on foot, if you're in the city, one of the things you're going to notice, some places have sidewalks. Often there is no sidewalks. So you're kind of taking your life in your hands when you're going for a little meander through the neighborhood, or, going along a busy thoroughfare there, because, all there is like a little footpath. You can see the dust where the dust is not settled anymore from the foot traffic. That's where you go. And it's iffy. You can feel people, like them little calves and stuff, like will brush your elbow and shit, so that's up to you. When now, once again, if you go out in the province, you're going to run into some problems, because they've got roads in the city, but out in the province, a lot of times it's a little goat path, and if you don't have a Sherpa guide or some kind of help, you're never going to find your destination. Because if you just got dropped off and somebody pointed and said go down that way, you're going to get lost immediately. Because I mean, it's just little footpaths, hard packed dirt footpaths that these people travel to get to their homes. And there's no road signs saying well, which way to go, and so you just have to ask and stuff. But I'm telling you, it can be treacherous. It truly can be treacherous, a little walk in the province there. Now, another thing, we got city. Another thing about the city is when you're in the city, everybody drinks bottled water. There's a guy that comes around. He's on a trike. He's got 10 or 15 of these 5-gallon bottles of water, and you can get them, I think, for like 20, 30 pesos. Now, you do the math on that one. It's next to nothing. But nobody drinks city water. You just wash with it. And you can smell, when you're taking your bath, they use a different kind of bleach or whatever they use in the water, the chlorine. I don't know, it's a different brand, but it's got a funk to it. And I wouldn't dare drink it. I once got a buco juice, and I could tell that they had used that water, because first sip I was like, I spit it out, because you aren't tricking me with that stuff. But everybody drinks in the city bottled water. Now out in the province, at her mom and dad's house, where I stay, they have a well out there. It runs into a tank, and we drank that, and you wash with it, and they feed the animals with it. We drink it. I mean, there's a pitcher sitting there, and I think it tastes just fine. It doesn't have any funky taste. It just tastes like water, like water's supposed to taste. And I drank it, countless times, and I never got any sickness from that. So I believe, that province, I'm not saying every province, every well you draw up out of is going to be pure, but the one I've been drinking out of seems to be just fine. And everybody in the neighborhood seems to be just fine. Now, another thing about the city that you have is the nightlife. There's in the city, there's nightlife, man. You can go out. You can go out, till wee hours of the morning if that's what you want to do, and have fun and drink beers. And, if you want to go meet some bar girls, there's plenty of places to travel around in the city, because there's going to be places for sure that cater to foreigners, and there's going to be beautiful little Filipino girls that are going to go there because they're either looking to acquire a foreigner, or they're working girls. Either way, that can happen, where you can just meet girls. I mean, that is not every Filipino girl is a bar girl. I mean, you're going to meet girls. Uh, Now, partying in the province is a little different. At her mom and dad's house, it's like a compound. Their house sits right here. And then, just a short little pebble throw over this way is her cousin's house. And then that leads on to the uncle or the aunt. I don't know. It's like 4 or 5 other houses over this away. So when they want to party down, her pops brings out the karaoke machine. They bust out a few 40s of that Red Horse, and everybody starts singing and dancing and joking and laughing, and that's partying. Now, there was a time when, that would have been the lamest thing that ever was, and I wouldn't have participated, and I would have made fun. I was like, man, this sucks. We gotta go. But I love it now. I mean, I love that kind of intimacy with the family and friends. It's beautiful. Instead of, I like to go out, occasionally, but it I don't do nightlife anymore, because I don't drink. So uh, I mean, I'll have an occasional Sam Mick Light. What's that? A 3.5 beer? But that's one, maybe 2 beers I'll have. But I don't party anymore. So it's just as fun to sit at her mom and dad's house and drink karaoke, and then drink karaoke, drink a couple Red Horses, and then sing some bad karaoke. And I'm a terrible singer, but I like to sing, man. And nobody cares that I sing bad. They tell me I sing good, and I love them for it. All right, now another thing about city life is you're gonna get restaurants. There's countless restaurants in Lapu Lapu where I was at, which hooks in. I mean, it's just a concrete jungle. Lapu Lapu, Cebu proper, all that. There are countless places to eat. Any style that you want to eat, any brand of food that you crave, you can get it, and you can get it delivered. You call up the Grab guy and you put in your order, and bippity boppity, some little dude in a green shirt is going to show up and hand out your food. That's, and like I said, it's city, and there's tons of good food in the city. Don't get me wrong, there's tons of good food. Whereas opposed if you're in the province, it doesn't work that way. I mean, I've never tried to get a Grab out that way. I'm sure you could, but good man, I don't know how much you pay, and for sure it would be cold. Anyway, most of the meals are planned like the night before. They start talking about what they're going to eat the next day because there's not a lot of refrigeration. So you're going to have to go to the market and buy fresh stuff. And I or sometimes a lot of times they raise their own meat on the property. Some people have chicken, some people have pork. I'm not saying that, but they don't have refrigeration. That's for sure. A lot of people just don't have refrigeration, so you got to have everything fresh, which I'm for. Fresh stuff. Or I mean, a lot of food that we cook at our mom and dad's house. This they'll go fetch whatever it is, 10, 15 feet away, and then throw it in the pot to cook whatever we're making. And they're from there, so they know where to do their shopping. Whereas you're in the city, that's a whole different thing. Now another thing is when you're in the city, you're going to have a lot of more stores that are 100% going to cater to Americans. There's that S&R store, which I went to, and they've got tons of American products. If you're craving American products, you're going to pay a lot for them, but they have them there. They had steaks, and we got some ribeye steaks, and I got to tell you right now, I didn't like them. And the main reason I didn't like them, I'm from Ohio, and we have corn-fed beef here. And our beef, I find, is to be superior. The marbling, just everything, the color, the taste. But I'm prejudicial. Like I said, we feed our beef, and some people, oh, blah blah blah, grass fed. Eat a bug, man. I'll take my corn fed all day. I will definitely take my corn fed all day. Uh, Now, one of the other things about the city life is is women. A lot of you guys are coming to the Philippines just to meet women. Well, if you come to the city, man, they're everywhere. They are everywhere. You can go to the mall, walk down the street. I mean, you're gonna encounter women everywhere. If you've been foolish enough to go on a dating app, which I do not recommend, I just suggest you come over to the Philippines and meet people in person, because those women on the dating apps, we call them sharks, and a lot of the women in the city are the same thing. Not all of them. Don't get me wrong, but they're far better at the game than a province girl, because more than likely a city girl is definitely going to utilize you as a tool. And don't that's just the way of it. They're smart enough, and they've had internet long enough, and they've got friends, and these girls talk, and they've been out with foreigners. But the chances of so we call them sharks. That's just they're into the game, and they're part of the game, and they're trying to next level themselves. That's my opinion of city girls. Now there's some nice city girls. Don't get me wrong. There's bound to be, but like I said, on them dating apps, for sure, most of them are sharks. And the girls, city girls, you just have to be a little more wary. Whereas province girl is probably going to be a little more honest. She's going to be in it trying to find love, and she would surely love to have one of them blue-eyed, pointed-nosed babies if possible. But she's more in it for the love aspect, because none of her friends have been out with foreigners. It just doesn't work that way out in the province. I stumbled well, I didn't stumble. I was directed. Anyway, what I've been to parties that the Titas had, and they talked about one foreigner from many years ago that showed up, and he didn't say a word. He never talked. He just stood over in the corner and ate food. and they like me a little bit because I'm a joker and I like to have fun. But like I said, it's going to be different. The province girl, I had to go and meet her family, and get approval to even date her. So a city girl, it's probably not going to work. You could probably date her a few times and then meet her family. Okay, one of the other things about the city life is they've got aircon. They have got aircon. So, it's hot. It's hot as balls over there, man. There's some days where you're sure Satan himself is, you know, taking revenge on the Philippines for something they've done in the past or something. I don't know, but it gets just ungodly hot and you gotta have aircon. Now every once in a while they're gonna have one of these things called brownout where, nobody got power. They're working on the power system and they need to. Let me tell you what, Jack. You look at them power lines and tell me they need to do some damn work. Anyway, so there'll be brownouts. It'll last 8, 10 hours, man. No aircon, and some of you guys just ain't gonna make it. That's why in the city, you go to the mall. Now, even if this mall is browned out, there's another mall across town, and you can go sit in that sucker all day, man, and just soak up that aircon. Now, out in the province, there isn't any aircon. I've never been to any house in the province, and I've been to several because she has family. They all live up and down the street she's from, and nobody has aircon. Not a soul. Everybody got fans, and it's not that hot up there because they have a canopy. They have trees and stuff like that, whereas the city doesn't have the canopy. But anyway, it's not as hot there, but the fans, circulate the air, makes it bearable. Now, when they have a brownout, it gets bad. It's hot, baby. I'm telling you, it gets hot up there. Uh, sometimes they go down to the river, but more often they go to where Pork Chop used to live. They got these pig stalls that are made out of concrete. They're clean. There's no animals in there, but the concrete's nice and cold, so they'll go sit in that thing and watch videos or put their back up against it. Just get the coolness of the concrete. But no aircon in the province. You know, I just have never seen it. So if you're moving to the province, that's just one of the things you're gonna have to deal with. No air conditioner. Okay, one of the other things about the province, we're gonna switch sides real quick. They've got snakes, rats, and mosquitoes. Yep, snakes, rats, and mosquitoes. I've seen them. I've seen small snakes. Now they got them big ass king cobras. You all seen documentaries on them damn things, and they're big. Now in the city, they've got snakes, rats, and mosquitoes. Yeah, I just saw one the other day. They pulled out of a bus. That sucker was this big around, and it was a freaking king cobra. It was huge, huge. I mean, it's one of them ones you'd have a nightmare, Indiana Jones style. You fall down, and this huge ass snake with the big hood is looking you in the face. That's in the city. So don't think. I mean, those it's a tropical island, so those snakes are moving and grooving however they want to. Okay, one of the other things is you get in the city you have 24-hour access to everything. It's like an open store. Some of the stalls are going to be closed, but for sure there's something open. You're going to be able to go somewhere and get something. If that's what you desire at 3 in the morning somewhere in the city, just you're going to be able to access stuff. Whereas in the province, for sure they're going to roll up the sidewalks. I normally am in bed by 9 o'clock, 9:30. I get up with the chickens. They get up at 5. If you want to know, they get up at 5. But out in the province, at one time we got home late, and it was like 9:30, and the main road, nobody. I mean, we unloaded the whole bike and everything. It took us like 15 minutes, not a soul passed. So I mean, up in the mountains in the province, they roll up them sidewalks by 10 o'clock. If you haven't got your ride, I mean, you're kind of effed. Okay, that's about all I've got as far as my province city life analogy. It depends on who you are and what you want. If you're a suburbanite, they've got gated communities for you, and they're very nice. You're going to pay a little more, but if you shop around, you can find a very nice gated community where it's quiet, no roosters, no farm animals, and you don't have to do anything. I myself am a country boy. I love nature. I have a garden here. I love to garden. I like to pick my own fruit. I like to can. I like to make my own stuff. I don't like to buy things if I can do it myself. And my friends call me nature boy jokingly because, I really do not want to pay for something that I can make myself. So I'm drawn to the country. I am a country boy at heart, and that's where I belong. I would never last in the city. And I didn't. The last time I was there, I made it about 6 weeks. And then I got out of there because I just couldn't take it anymore because of the many things that so many other people would find appealing. I do not find appealing. Okay, this has been Hiding in the Philippines, and this has been Province or City Life. I hope it's been informational at best, and I hope I've been helpful. Okay, be as good as you can. Ciao.